What really transpired on the day Hae Min Lee disappeared? Hae Min Lee was not your average high school senior. Popular, athletic, and bright, she had a promising future ahead of her. But in January of 1999, she mysteriously vanished, leaving her Baltimore community in shock and despair. The last day she was seen, Hae was going about her usual routine, attending school, chatting with friends, seemingly without a care in the world. Yet, by the following day, she was nowhere to be found. A month later, the grim discovery of her body in a city park confirmed the worst fears. This was no mere missing persons case. It was a murder investigation. As the news spread, shockwaves rippled through their community. And as the police began piecing together the events of that fateful day, one name kept surfacing. Her ex-boyfriend, Adnan soon found himself in the crosshairs of this investigation. As the finger of suspicion pointed towards Adnan, what was the evidence stacking against him? The prosecution's case against Adnan was built on three main pillars. First, cell phone records that placed him near the location where Hae's body was later discovered. Second, testimonies from witnesses, the most significant of which came from Jay Wilds, a friend who claimed Adnan showed him Hae's body and confessed to the crime. Lastly, Adnan's lack of a concrete alibi for the time of the murder. The prosecution painted a picture of Adnan as a jilted lover, driven to commit murder out of jealousy and anger. They argued that Adnan's motive was his inability to accept Hae's decision to end their relationship. This narrative, coupled with the aforementioned evidence, led the jury to convict Adnan. Despite proclaiming his innocence, Adnan was convicted for the murder of Hae Min Lee. The case might have faded into obscurity had it not been for the Serial podcast. An unexpected hero in the narrative of Hae Min Lee's murder, the podcast brought the case back into the limelight years after the gavel had fallen. Released in 2014, Serial dove headfirst into the complex labyrinth of Lee's murder and Syed's conviction, painstakingly dissecting every detail, every piece of evidence, every witness testimony, and the legal proceedings that led to Syed's life sentence. The podcast didn't just report, it questioned. It unraveled a string of inconsistencies in the case, such as the reliability of Jay's testimony, the lack of physical evidence tying Syed to the crime, and the questionable use of cell phone records. These revelations caused a seismic shift in public opinion, leading many to doubt the validity of Syed's conviction and question whether justice had truly been served. Serial's impact extended beyond the court of public opinion. It reverberated in the halls of justice itself. The podcast's scrutiny led to a reopening of the case in 2016, offering a glimmer of hope for Syed and his supporters. However, the story of Serial is not just about one man's guilt or innocence, it's about the power of investigative journalism to shine a light on the murky depths of our justice system, to question, to challenge, and to seek the truth. The podcast ignited a debate, questioning the reliability of the evidence and whether justice was truly served. But even as the podcast concluded, many questions remained unanswered. Theories swirled around Hae Min Lee's murder, each one more chilling than the last. Could there be other suspects, overlooked or discounted by the initial investigation? Theories of a third-party perpetrator surfaced, leading some to question the accuracy of the conviction. In parallel, the legal saga of Adnan Syed unfolded. His appeals and relentless efforts to overturn his conviction painted a picture of a man desperate to prove his innocence. The courts, however, seemed unmoved, upholding the conviction time and again. The legal labyrinth grew more complex with each passing year, leaving observers questioning whether justice had truly been served. The public's reaction to the case was a maelstrom of emotions, ranging from disbelief to outrage. The debate about Syed's guilt or innocence sparked heated discussions in forums and social media platforms worldwide. Some were convinced of his innocence, citing the inconsistencies in the case, while others remained steadfast in the belief of his guilt, trusting the verdict of the courts. The murder case of Hae Min Lee, the questions it left unanswered, and its aftermath have left an indelible mark on our collective consciousness. It has challenged our understanding of truth, justice, and the very system that is supposed to uphold them. The murder of Hae Min Lee remains a haunting narrative, a reminder of the many shades of truth that exist in our justice system. This is the Curious Culture Club signing off, until our next deep dive into another gripping tale.